CLK Black. We race 3 wrecks. And does the X6 have the X factor? Welcome to Top Gear Australia, the show that promises you the world and then only gives you Albury and a bit of Wodonga. Now, first up, Steve gets behind the wheel of the new Mercedes, the CLK Black, and he asks the question, once you've driven black, do you ever look back?
You could say it's the dawn of a new age for Mercedes. And here it is, the AMG CLK 63 Black Series. It's based on the regular CLK 63, but Mercedes tell us this is meant to be much, much more. The Black Series is a new range of cars that Mercedes-Benz want to use to convince us it can make something other than a lukewarm cup of cocoa. As I drive the Black, its 6.2 litre, 507 horsepower engine really becomes apparent. And it's pumped up like an East German weightlifter. The guards are wider, the wheels are bigger, and the suspension is stiff.
So you'd think this is the sort of thing that'd be right up my alley, right? Well, no. So the problem is, I just don't know where this car is meant to be at home. Driving around the country like this ain't exactly comfortable. My ass is now numb for a start, and I'm bouncing around like an old box trailer. Ordinarily, I really dig cars that are really focused on their job. They're really clear about what they want to be. But I get a feeling this thing's a bit cross-eyed. It's a bit too harsh to be a Grand Tourer. Definitely not nice as a city driver.
And it doesn't fall anywhere in between. Out here, I'm starting to wonder if Mercedes have betrayed things they're renowned for with all this race-bred intention. So, if the Black doesn't feel at home out here, then surely it'll be a different story out on the track. With the Black, Mercedes have gone out on a limb to create a car that looks and feels like you could race it.
And here lies the problem. It's just not that great a race car. I mean, you're constantly reminded that it weighs 1,800 odd kilos, especially through changes of direction like that. And the auto gearbox means that you never feel like it's doing what you want it to do, like that. Come on. When you do eventually get second gear, you're having this amazing pitched battle between the electronics of the car and the tyres. The special race tyres it's got are great, but the chassis just doesn't allow you to explore them.
The CLK Black does have track presence. And the goods. Brakes the size of pizza pans. A pair of racing buckets. Loads of carbon fibre. Oh, and the mandatory horse brush. So maybe I'm being unfair. But let's consider the car the Black supposedly improves upon, the regular AMG CLK.
Okay, it's not quite as sharp as the Black, but you're getting 90% of the thrill for 100 grand less. And in this country where 103 k's an hour will get you a ticket, and not a whole lot more will actually get you car crushed into a cube, these track day specials are becoming much more important. This thing isn't obviously designed to do that job, but the black is getting close, and things like the Porsche GT3 really do need some competition. In the end, we all win. I'm just not convinced that is worth $100,000 more than this. I mean, your $100,000 is actually getting you 19 extra kilowatts of power, and it actually weighs 5 kilos more. So using that formula, a Commodore would be about $1 million.
I really did want to like the black, but it just kept missing the mark. It's so close to being a terrific track car, so frustrating. Then I put my finger on the problem. ESP off.
That's more like it. At least it doesn't feel like it's wearing a cardigan now. More like a brown corduroy race suit.
And whilst this helps, when it comes to competing with track stars like the GT3, the black still runs
Second.
Nice try, guys, but it's not quite there. At least you can throw it around and have a bit of a fang, though. Expensive fang.
All is forgiven, Mercedes.
Now, Stephen, call me sensitive, but I've got the feeling you're falling out of love with this thing a bit.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, the biggest problem with this car is you spend 300 grand on a, hardcore track special, and it's not going to beat things like a GT3 Porsche or a Ferrari Scuderia. Biggest problem with this thing is it's about nearly 400 kilos heavier than those cars, and biggest sin of all, you're going to hate this. It's got a proper auto. It's got a slush box.
Well, comfy, but I am going to hate it, you're right. But seriously, mate, I mean, it's got enough squirt to blow a dog off a chain. Surely it's all right.
Yeah, and it sounds really good too, but the biggest problem is mass to tyre ratio. It's too heavy for the tyres, so it's always going to lose to that competition.
And if that's not bad enough, now the black has to face the ultimate challenge. Some say his father used to race greyhounds when he was a kid, and he always beat them because he drove a V8 Monaro. Some believe that if you look inside the glove box of his car, you'll actually find a pair of gloves. But all we know is he's the Stig. Off the line, pretty good start there. This thing has got some serious squirt. Down into the question mark, on the brakes as you'd want to be, feeding the power on, fair bit of movement there. He's really got his head down. Clarkson Corner is coming up next. Critical corner. He's driving like you, Stephen. What on earth is going on here? Up the hill, this is key.
This is really important because the braking for going onto the main straight is actually a double left-hander off camber, and the car's all on tippy-toe, and it's the most important corner because you've got to get a really good run down the straight.
Right, wide. He goes onto the main straight, bit of a wiggle. High and wide, but head down. Looks very, very quick down there. Big break through the chicane. It isn't that flexible, this thing. Down into 06. Still sounds like you. Small left before the bus stop. Into the bus stop. What's it like on the direction change? Flick left, flick right. Pedal down and across the line, and it looks like a pretty good lap. That thing absolutely honks.
Yeah, that's super quick, isn't it?
Now, you might have been a bit rude about it, but I'll tell you what, you will be staggered. It's done in a 1 minute 10.44.
That's pretty good. That's actually better than I thought. But it goes to show you exactly what those soft, sticky tyres will do for you. I actually reckon they're worth about 2 seconds a lap. So I still reckon a GT3 will give it a touch-up.
You won't let this drop, will he? Absolutely not. I think it's a belting time. At this stage, a Porsche beater. And, of course, it is almost our quickest V8, second only to the Porsche.
You know, sometimes it pays off to just take a few steps back from life and just ask yourself one question.
What were they thinking?
You know, In a perfect world, a dream car would be an Italian car built in Sweden, but a nightmare car would be a Swedish car built in Italy. In the 1970s, those wild and crazy guys at Volvo decided to do a wild and crazy thing and take a Volvo 264 sedan and pimp it and turn it into this. This is the Volvo 262 Coupe. Now, all they had to do was really put two great big doors here and cut the roof down so it gave the appearance and the comfort of a bomb shelter. Now, the really interesting thing about this car was that the body was put on it in Italy by Bertone. So not only did you have the joy of driving a 1970s Volvo, you also got to experience 1970s Italian craftsmanship firsthand. So what were they thinking?
Well, I'd like to know what Holden Australia were thinking in the 1980s. Simply because, you know, sales of the Commodore were down and they think, I need a four-cylinder car. But we don't have one, so what do? They get a six-cylinder, they put it through a bandsaw and they make a four-cylinder. It was called the Starfire and it came out in the VC Commodore. Hey, how good's this thing? Had a whole 58 kilowatts of power. So it actually used more fuel than the six-cylinder because you're constantly in it to get it going. Now, this car quickly got a reputation for being absolutely awful, and the engine was nicknamed the Crossfire, the Misfire, the Backfire, and my favourite, the Bushfire. I mean, this car actually created bushfires. What the hell were Holden thinking with that one?
Fantastic.
Mine is short and sweet. I warned you two last week this was going on the board. You two in those stupid hats in that stupid hearse, what were you thinking? Now, these old piles of rubble in the corner are not just studio decoration. In this week's challenge, we actually fall in love with those old wrecks. More of that after the break. It's getting harder and harder these days to get a driver's license, pass your test. Now, maybe that's no bad thing. But recently, some experts came up with a top idea: give learner drivers a maturity test. Now, if we'd had to pass a test like that, we'd still be getting buses.
Well, we wondered, whatever happened to learning to drive in the great Australian tradition? You know, get in an old bomb and drive round and round someone's back paddock.
So we were given $500 each and sent to a junkyard to resurrect some old bombs to go paddock bashing. But we weren't told the whole story.
We each bought $500 to the nearest vehicular graveyard to look for a wreck to resurrect. Should be simple, we thought. It's got to run. It's got to be fun. It's got to be fast, but it's got to last as well. And it didn't take me long to find a diamond in the rust. She was beautiful, powerful, and solid.
Now, this is the car of my dreams. I'm really onto something here. Now, this is an HT. It's an HT Premier. Have a look at that, the twin headlights. We were a Belmont family. We couldn't afford the Premier, but it's absolutely a work of art. I learnt to drive in one of these. I can tell you something, word to the wise. Not only have I got a little bit of chrome there, that's not the 186 this baby came out with. That is a 202, I can tell by the engine cover. Nice one.
Now, I'd found a piece of my past, a robust example of Aussie motoring that I knew would see me right. However, for reasons best known to himself, Steve's genetic imperative led him behind the wheel of a taxi.
I've had a pretty good find here. What I'm thinking is most cabs go about 1 million Ks and they still keep running. So this thing's only done 250,000 Ks, so it's only sort of a quarter of the way through its life.
Hey, mate, my little baby over there has got 4, perhaps even 5 on the floor.
You reckon that's good? I've just worked this out. This thing is in fact an S-Pack, which of course in the 90s meant red pinstripe and crappy alloys.
So I guess it was only predictable that Steve and I had chosen different sides in the eternal battle of Holden versus Ford. And not surprisingly, Warren was playing on his own peculiar team. He'd chosen a Camry, a station wagon, bless him.
Now, I've walked through here, and without any shadow of a doubt, this car is the best car in this entire junkyard. This is a 1989 Toyota Camry station wagon. You couldn't kill this sort of a thing with an Abrams tank.
Well, if it wasn't a tank, what did kill him? Godzilla? Despite the fact that his nasty little Camry was a front-wheel drive sardine can in need of some major surgery, Warren was more concerned with the paint job.
This is the Dukes of Hazzard cars because you can only get in through the window. Hang on.
You're getting paint on your ass.
No, not, am I? Hang on.
Mate, they've sold you a dud. This is just putrescence.
This is the best car on the lot.
It's like giving birth in reverse.
I don't have the same style as a Dukes of Hazzard.
It's like having a baby put back.
Listen to this.
Look at the smoke.
We spent the day pretending to be mechanics and finished up with some clever psychological measures. I knew Octane Boost wouldn't get the old Holden going much faster, but it bothered the boys. Steve's beaded seat cover was aesthetic, but pathetic. It would only cushion the blow of defeat. And as for Warren and the General Lee, well, his bizarre marriage of Japan and the Deep South could only be explained by the fact that they'd both lost wars to the USA. The next morning, we confidently presented our rejuvenated Rex. So confident, in fact, we'd agreed to test them in a timed speed run. The Duke of Haphazard went first.
You ready?
Listen to that. 2 litres of fighting fury.
Go!
Go, go, go.
Is he moving or what?
Ah, the exhaust!
Can you actually breathe?
Why did you lift before the line? You couldn't stand the speed, or?
Oh, I didn't want a gum tree as my hood ornament. That's why. I could see me going into the scrub for about 500 kilometres.
Do you want to know the time? 1 hour, 6... No, it was 13.50.
Get this thing out of here. It's horrible. Look at that.
Oh.
That's red and black oil.
Red and black. Oh, listen to that. That is just shocking.
You ready, Steve?
As I'll ever be.
Go.
Oh, there's 4 cylinders going. Come on!
Look at the smoke coming out of it.
Come on! Whoa, whoa, whoa! No brakes. This has no brakes at all.
Ah, a fast taxi. What an amazing thing.
It's not a thing
mate.
of beauty, mate. I think that was slowing you down a little bit.
What do you reckon your time was?
Shocking.
You're going to be embarrassed.
13.81.
Oh, no!
The General Lee. I told you.
Second to a Camry.
See?
I'm in love with this car. This is the Premier. We didn't have one of these. We had a Belmont. This has got a push-button radio, air vent, special air vent, heater demister, all the things we didn't have, Dad. This has got it. Hurry, she's smoking up in here. I'm getting dizzy.
3, 2, 1, go.
Come on, baby, come on.
It's like watching Division 4.
Come on. Yes! You see, that's what a proper race car looks like.
Yeah, it looks like sort of several race cars, this one.
Do you want to know your time?
I don't care. Yes, please.
17.72.
That's me.
The Camry wins. We've been done by a wagon.
Now,
Warren might be ahead after the timed run section, but I can promise you that unnatural state of affairs will soon be rectified. Hang around for the second half of this. It is absolute carnage. But in the meantime, news, boys.
Now, first up in the news, Charlie, you've got us in the poop, OK? In that first segment, that first story of the first episode, you mentioned that the Porsche 911 was a 15th. More fuel economical than a Camry. 15th.
Of course, I know, it is bad. We've had letters, people writing in, phoning in, even articles in the paper. But I can tell you, seriously, it is a point of measure.
But Charlie and Steve, look, I have to say, I've done a bit of research on this, and the term 15th is a technical term. We all know that a 15th is actually 0.37 of a bee's dick. And a bee's dick is 4 Nats Nasties. And 4 Nats Nasties equates to 3/5 of the Football Association, I think that stands for.
Who said we don't research?
And speaking of technicalities, a technicality has caused a brouhaha between Nissan and Porsche. Big brouhaha, actually.
A brouhaha.
Now, the problem has been that the Nissan GT-R, which was, created and, came out this year, has claimed that it's gone faster around Nürburgring than a Porsche 911. Now, Porsche are really upset about this, so they've gone and tested that out, and they've actually gone out and bought a GT-R. And they've started to do a whole mess of testing. Can't get 20 seconds near the lap time of that thing. So there's a big technical brouhaha over what sort of tyres it was on, whether it's on road tyres or actual race tyres or anything like that at all. Now, the other big problem that's actually come out of this is that Porsche have done that much testing that they've actually worn out parts on the GT-R. They've rung up the local Nissan dealership and gone, have you got parts for us? And they've just gone, no, and hung up the phone.
So it's probably under warranty.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. They wanted to use their trade discount card.
Now, on the subject of brouhahas, the argy-bargy between the Holden Commodore and the Toyota Corolla as Australia's best-selling car this month has seen the Commodore come out on top because of this, the Sportswagen, which I reckon is a really great-looking car.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, and I also reckon that it'll probably put a dent in the sales of SUVs and four-wheel drives because we haven't had a Holden Commodore station wagon for a couple of years. I reckon it's great.
Now, an insurance company survey has found that almost 50% of Australians don't know the rules for a multi-lane roundabout. How many people in here know what the road rules are for driving around a multi-lane roundabout?
Put your hand down.
You're lying, you don't. Nobody does. Nobody. You need a compass and a slide rule. I know that to work it out. Look at that, would you? But roundabouts, I mean, they are springing up all over the place like mushrooms. These stupid little ones on T intersections. Some idiot chucks a frisbee in the middle of a T junction. It's all of a sudden a roundabout. Someone pulls right in front of you and, hey. Now, I blame all of this on the POMs because I believe that the POMs brought us the roundabout. Now, this is not any roundabout. They do have a lovely sense of irony, the magic roundabout. This is really a place near Swindon. And as you can see, that is the 5 roundabout cluster. It's a bit like a solar system, really, and there's the sun and all the rest of it. 2 very important things to note, though. Number 1, one of the roundabouts takes you to a dead end. Nice play, boys. Really cool. Secondly, that one there takes you to a hospital with accident and emergency, which you need with a roundabout system like that.
It's a bit like that one at Brisbane Airport. Has anyone actually been to that Brisbane Airport one? It's actually under the motorway. So you've got 7 sort of exits leading off this thing, and it's so bad they've actually had to put 2 sets of traffic lights to actually sort it all out.
Mate, I'm with the French, and I never thought I'd say this. They've got roundabouts sorted. That enormous one on the Arc de Triomphe. Round and round, everybody goes. It's about 10 football pitches wide. 1 million roads run into it, and there are no line markings on it, nothing at all, and no rules. Catch and kill your own. Now, coming up after the break, Warren drives the BMW X6, and our star in a bog-standard car can't drive a manual.
Does anybody here know what this is? It's a BMW, and what sort of BMW is it? An X6. But what is that? BMW says this is a stylish refusal to compromise. But what is that?
It's a 2.7-tonne four-wheel drive, so that makes it a truck. But it's not. It has a twin-turbocharged 3-litre 6-cylinder engine and it's called a coupe, which sounds sporty. But it's not. What it is a very strange experiment where two motoring concepts have been thrown together.
I really want to like this car, but it's a bit like your best mate's newborn baby. You want to think it's cute, but it's just not. And I feel a bit awkward because I've been grinning at it through clenched teeth and saying coochie coochie coo. But it's a bit hard to get cuddly with something designed by Dr. Frankenstein. Half sports car, half truck.
BMW tells us it's an SAC, a sports activity coupe, and supposedly that's a good thing. But to be honest, I'm confused.
You see, historically, getting a sports car owner to buy a four-wheel drive was like getting Snoop Dogg to give up the weed. It's never going to happen.
So for BMW to attempt to create a new market from the odds and sods of two historically distinct camps is nothing short of pretty bloody major. So far, I'm not convinced. But hang on, to be fair, I've hardly driven the thing. Now, if I was going to take a four-wheel drive and turn it into a sports car, I reckon I'd be shoehorning in some sort of engine that would give it credible performance. So it's no longer a four-wheel drive, it's a sports car. But this car has a diesel in it. And when you try and put the boot in, there is that turbo lag. And it works its way up gradually. It's never going to snap your neck. It is a bit of a head turner. Are people looking at me or looking at the car? Both pretty unusual, I think. So far, there's much more four-wheel drive in this car than there is sports car, and it makes it pretty heavy around town. Here's a parking spot. Let's see how we go. Right. Typically, this is like a sports car. It's got appalling vision through the rear window, and now I'm looking, I can hardly see. It's like, I can imagine this is how Ned Kelly must reverse, because there's a little slit. It's like looking out of a post box. So I have to use the onboard camera, which is very much a Star Wars operation here. Oh, crikey. What am I doing here? Hello, it's beeping at me. What a good fellow. Thank you. Right, this way? Yeah. Yeah. Great. Wonderful. See, that's the sort of thing that BMW should do. They should forget about this camera and they should have a little bloke stuffed in the boot, and when you want to reverse, just press a button and the boot pops open and the guy leaps out and he says, yes, this far, right hand down, left hand down. What a brilliant idea. Oh, man. Now, I'm not the best reverse parker in the world, but physically getting this car into this space has been a bigger project than the Snowy Mountain scheme. The visibility's rubbish, I can't use the onboard camera, and somehow or other I've eventually got to get this car out of here. The people at BMW think they've reinvented the wheel by taking their four-wheel drive and trying to turn it into a sports car. Now, I don't mean to shock you, but this has been attempted before. And if you don't remember it, there's probably a good reason why. Because it was an absolute flop. Meet the Suzuki X90, a triumph in nothing. This was the X6 of '96. Its name eerily not dissimilar to BMW's latest incarnation. It's part beach buggy Jeep, part coupe, and all mistake. But again, I'm scratching my head thinking maybe the X90 was just ahead of its time. Maybe the X6 is the car from the future for the now, but the X90 was the car from the past that wasn't the future. I was spinning out and I needed to clear my head. It was time to climb a mountain. It's wonderful driving driving in the mountains. It's a bit like the sound of music. And I feel like one of the Von Trapps. I feel like the Captain Von Trapp, not Maria or Julie Andrews. Don't get me wrong on that. But the thinner mountain air wasn't helping. Ah, wir going up the hills. Ja, it's very good up the hills, ja. In the Alpine stuff. How does it handle? It handles very well.
And so it should, because the X6 has a world first, DPC, Dynamic Performance Control. Simply, it gives torque to an outside wheel in a corner, while still giving torque to the inside wheel. Just trust me, it works.
And these great big tyres that make the thing so cumbersome around town are great on a nice windy bit of road. Really great.
Surprisingly, this 3-ton car has excellent manners. The X6 is great at holding the road because it has a low centre of gravity, but this is where the whole shaky marriage between off-road vehicle and sports car becomes unstuck.
So there's a compromise here. You either have a low centre of gravity or ground clearance. And this car doesn't have any form of adjustable suspension. So when I start to go off-road, I need to approach this embankment. Listen to that. This is an off-road vehicle. Everywhere I want to go, there's something beeping at me. Okay, I just go here, take it gently at an angle so I don't bust off the spoiler, because the spoiler's only about this far off the ground. See, this is all part of a sort of motoring psychology thing. You buy this car, you think that you're automatically opening up a world of excitement and adventure, and you're an outdoorsy sort of person. It's a bit like someone who's grossly overweight and they go to a supermarket and buy some really expensive running shoes, and therefore they're already on the path to getting fit.
This isn't the kind of four-wheel drive you can easily charge off into the bush with. Because of the ground clearance, the performance tyres and limited vision, the most simple off-roading needs to be painfully slow. Before undertaking a potentially car-damaging test, of course I read the driver's handbook. Now, this is the driver's handbook. And there's a paragraph here that says, driving on rough tracks. Your BMW will feel at home on all kinds of roads and tracks. It combines four-wheel drive with the benefits of a conventional passenger car. And straight under it, it says, do not drive over rough terrain. Talk about hedging your bets. I'd spent a whole day driving the X6 around, attempting to understand it from the inside out, but I'd been missing the point. It was never going to be a road test that would help me understand this car. I needed a spiritual awakening, and sadly, I just hadn't seen the light.
So, Warren, mate, we finally give you a car to review, and you're not sure whether you like it.
No, well, I don't know if I don't like it, I guess. Look, I had a lot of fun driving the X6 around, but really this car is the answer to a question no one's ever asked. It's part of BMW trying to carve a niche for people who don't know what they want by making a car that doesn't know what it is. So I reckon if you want to buy a sports car, buy a sports car. If you want to buy a four-wheel drive, buy a four-wheel drive. If you want an identity crisis, buy this.
He still doesn't know whether he likes it, does he? Good luck with that, Warren. Now, this week, our star in a bog-standard car is just full of firsts. It's our first female star. It's our first comedian. It's our first star of SBS's Rock Quiz. And it's the first time we've had to teach our celebrity how to drive a manual before their hot lap. Ladies and gentlemen, Julia Zemiro. We decorated this ourselves.
Oh, it's like being in a student house, isn't it? Look at these. They're a little bit smelly, a little bit, sticky carpet.
I know we look a bit young.
I know. We're perfect.
OK.
Now,
take me through manual cars. Why did you not learn on a manual?
Because my parents were a bit terrified to teach me to drive. My father just swore at me in French, and my mother was just very tense. So never quite got the driving and just gave up altogether. And then when I finally learnt to drive, when I was 35, 5 years ago, a boyfriend said to me, "This is ridiculous. You have got to get behind the wheel. Let's do it on automatic." Or let's learn on automatic is what I meant.
Sporting of him.
And I got my confidence driving through the streets of New Zealand. Coastline, couldn't crash into anything, so felt confident then. So when I said yes to this, I was so excited, but then I rang back the next day and went, "Oh, is it on a manual? Because I might be a bit stuffed there."
So, learned to drive ducking sheep.
I did learn to drive ducking sheep and surfers as well, because it was on a beach.
The experience, though, trying to work out the pedals. You've never driven one at all, have you?
Well, I don't see why would you drive a manual? We can drive an automatic. Go, stop with the accelerator. Nice and simple in an automatic. With the manual, now I had to get a 2-hour driving lesson from a special man to help me because I didn't know. And I had this little post-it note to remind me that the clutch is there, the brake's there, and the accelerator's there, just in case I killed myself.
And the corner's over there.
I know. Look, and gears. It's such a waste of time when you could just concentrate on the road rules. Clearly, I'm a car lover.
No, blame it. So, what was your fast car? Obviously, an automatic.
It was an automatic. It was a little orange Laser 1988 that I bought for $3,000. Bing.
And what do you drive now?
What do I drive now? I've upgraded, obviously. I'm driving a 1989 bronze Toyota Corolla, $6,000 second-hand. Yeah, thank you, and, yeah, thank you. You see, and there's a new CD player in there, so the music's very good and loud and fabulous, and the air conditioning kind of works, and it's got central locking for $9.89, which is pretty good, and it goes.
So 88 to 89. Yeah. Lady, you've come a long way, haven't you?
And when I first met you, you said to me, you can tell a lot by a person by the car that they drive. And he knew immediately what sort of person I was because I only spent $6,000 on a car.
Yeah, but I didn't know about the manual thing then.
Didn't you?
Now, your dad's swearing at you in French. Why not a French car?
Why not a French car? Because I think in Sydney in 19 whatever I was, 83, there weren't that many around, or maybe they're expensive, or I learnt in the Chrysler Centura. And it was enormous. I was never going to get it right. It was just being yelled at. Sorry, Dad, pardon, mais it really was just, "Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Mais non, allez, dégage." And Mum just sat forward a lot, quite nervous, just not really knowing what to do. So, but public transport, everybody, don't be afraid of it. It's a very good system, and let's face it, the environment's important.
Now, I understand you were trying to chat to the Stig today. Did you coax any words out of the Stig?
I got giggles. I got laughs from him. I think he's a small-built person. It could be Steve. I think it could be Steve. Exactly, it could. He's got that same sort of frame, and he had a good giggle about him. Laugh like that.
That's terror.
It was terror, and I think he was trying to crack on. Because we went round that thing about 5 times. I got a bit whiplashed by the end of it, and I think he was doing a bit of showing off with the donut work. But I'm taken, so thank you anyway, Stig. Jag älskar dig, which is I love you in Swedish. I don't know if he's Swedish, but I think he might be.
But you heard it here first. The Stig laughed. He has humour.
A closed-mouth laugh. Not a big laugh, but he kept it small. I tried to chat to him. I said, "I know you can't speak, but how are you?" And he did a lot of miming. And because of the big helmet, he can't see a bloody thing, right? He actually can't see. So when he was changing the gears, he was leaning over because he couldn't quite see. And I thought, could you not drive this? Because you're freaking me out. But no, he was lovely. We didn't talk much, but I yelled a lot and wooed a lot.
Now, as I said earlier, you are the host of SBS's Rock Quiz.
Correct.
We have decided to turn the tables.
Have you?
This is Rock Quiz meets Top Gear Australia.
Yay, good.
So you have some questions to answer. You are our first contestant. They're all car-related.
Can I use the buzzer?
Oh, well, we'll have a clock going later, I'm sure. OK, question 1. Yes. In The Boys of Summer, Don Henley saw a Deadhead sticker on...
Bzzt, a Cadillac.
The Beach Boys...
Round of applause, that's pretty good.
You can tell she really runs the quiz, can't she? Yeah. The Beach Boys had fun tons until what happened?
Till her daddy put the T-bird away.
Took it, but it's close enough. Prince drove a little red...
Sorry?
Prince drove a little
A
red...
little red Corvette, this is correct.
Oh, she's on fire. She's looking hot. In American Pie, Don McLean drove his what to the levee?
Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. This is correct.
I think we're bowling underarm to her. This is too easy. Janis Joplin's friends all drove what?
Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, no! They all drove Porsches. She must make amends. She wanted a Mercedes-Benz.
Well, I was thinking of Janice. I wasn't thinking of her stupid friends.
Top Gear 1.
Incorrect.
Rock quiz.
0.
OK.
Yep.
You've done very well, though. I make that 4 out of 5, and that's a pretty good percentage bet.
What?
Round of applause. She's red hot. Now, of course there's more, because that was just one little test. The big test is yet to come. You in the car with the manual. It must have been like playing an organ.
It was hilarious. No, quite seriously, Charlie, it was hilarious because it was terrifying. It's so fast. And I can see now why people fall in love with car racing now. I understand it now. I get it, because it was quite addictive. The trouble is, you also, after a while, you start to think, this isn't dangerous.
Yeah.
It's extremely dangerous. But I had a bit of trouble with the gears, is what I recall.
Well, they move around a lot, don't they? I don't know why they don't race automatics. That'd make it better, wouldn't it?
Yes. Tick. Of course it would. I'll be all for that. Race an automatic next time. We'll see how the boys line up with me then. Oh.
OK. Who wants to see the lap?
Good.
OK. Roll the lap.
Oh, my Lord.
2 wheel spins, that's good. Come on, what are you thinking?
I should be going faster than that. I remember going very fast. You're not on the street, you're on the track, so gun it!
Through the question mark, and your question was?
The question was, hurry.
Clarkson corner.
I feel like I was going a lot faster than that.
No, it's purposeful.
Is it?
Up over the crest there. This is tricky here, isn't it?
It is tricky, and you'll be driving automatics. Okay, slow down, slow down, slow down. So down, slow down, get into second on the scary corner. Oh, my God.
So, did it respond to being sworn at or sung to on the main straight?
I hate that about manuals. I don't listen.
Down to the chicane.
Yes, now this was fun. This is fun. Not too much. Yeah. Oh, my God. Brake like you mean it.
You've got to stop now.
Yeah, he says brake like you mean it.
06. Now, coming up to the bus stop.
Bus stop, which I knew what you were talking about. You're talking code.
Oh, did you know?
Oh,
The lefty, righty thing.
Yes, yes. In second, the whole way, and go quick. Look at me, got my mouth open.
Oh, listen to it. If I was going to be a real bore, I'd tell you all about rev limiters, because I could hear one then. But that was very good. First time in a manual, guys. Come on, outstanding. OK, you want to know your time, don't
Look,
you?
I want to do it for the sisters. Oh, look at that. There's only 2 of us. They're great. I wanted to do it for the sisterhood, and I'm the first woman on, and I hope I don't let people down, but let's pop me at the bottom, and I can be the one that people beat.
You did very, very well, given your just first time in a manual. You did it in a 1 minute 37.41. Less than 3 seconds behind Vince Colosimo.
Can I say how unhappy he's going to be about that?
Would you like to borrow my phone? You can give me a quick call now. Fantastic effort. First time in a manual. Brilliant.
Thank you, Charlie.
Congratulations.
I was petrified.
We will be back after the break with the great Australian tradition, paddock bashing. Now, when we last saw our junkyard creations, Warren had just won the drag race. But he didn't win it, we lost it.
That's sour grapes. That is sour grapes, isn't it?
Mate, anyone can drive these old torpedoes in a straight line. But the real fun was about to begin.
At last, we were ready for the inaugural Top Gear Australia Paddock Bashing Challenge. Warren's surprise success had made him annoyingly confident.
Get ready to eat some of General Lee's home-cooked southern fried dust.
OK, gentlemen, start your engines. Hang on. Ready to go. In 5. Oil lights on. 3. No, stop. 2. 1. No!
Maybe Warren forgot that he'd had a major oil leak. Or just maybe we'd forgotten to tell him. But at least 2 of us were ready, and 2 out of 3's good enough.
Don't surrender now! Don't surrender now!
Steve was first cab off the rank.
What do you think of the current price of petrol, huh? It's too much.
To take the lead, all I had to do was just jettison some weight. The Camry, meantime, had gone from a heavyweight to a paperweight.
Oh, man.
What the hell?
I held the lead while we came around for another pass.
Eat some of that dust, Stevie boy.
This is not good. This is going to hurt.
Come on, baby.
This is not good.
But Steve snuck through when I paid Warren another friendly visit. I regained the lead, then Steve got lucky again. Not for long. My old torpedo had done it. Just 2 corners to go. I'm in the lead. The clouds of dust tasted like victory. But as we know, pride comes before your wheels fall off.
Oh, Geronimoski! Oh, my baby's dead. I know that feeling. It's the prop shaft in the ground.
Steve finished the final lap. Just. Winning by the seat of his pants.
Yes!
And thanking what was under the seat of his pants.
Go the bearded seat cover! Huh? How do you like that?
Mate, bearded seat cover, is that the greatest accolade you could have come up with?
Well, my butt was comfy. Come on, Charlie. This thing is a cab, which is why I chose it. I mean, those things go forever. They do about, what, 12,000 Ks a shift? I mean, you can't kill these things with an axe.
Wazza, we've got to talk about your racecraft, mate. Qualifying's only a part of it. To finish first you must finish.
And in your case, first you must start.
Yeah, but wait a minute. I'm the person who won the standing quarter mile. But I must tell you, I found a fantastic, new, novel way to get this car moving. Have a look at this. Now, this is the first time I'd ever driven a skid steer, so watch and learn.
And you can tell.
Very gently, push it back, then deliver it very calmly to the ground from about 6 feet. What do you reckon?
You did scratch it a little bit.
Scratch it? Look what you did to my damn door. Look at this. Have a look at this.
Mate, you were asking for it. You were a target. It was like a magnet. He'd have done the same.
Magnet.
I wish I'd done the same, actually. Good job, mate.
Nice one. Now, that is all we have time for tonight. If only the show was a 15th longer. Next week, we're off track to test tradition and technology, on track with the roar of a mighty big lion, and sidetracked again with Warren. See you next week.
Top Gear fans will find a range of merchandise from the UK series, including DVDs, CDs and books at Dymocks and JB Hi-Fi.